Our next speaker will be Bob McMahon, as he strides up sexily to the podium.
That's very good. I've actually prepared a statement. This is not going to be off the top of my head, though it could easily have been. But if I do it off the top of my head, there is no end to it. So, keep it short, keep it brief. Now the thing is, history is written by the winners. Hitler said it, but he's not the only one. Many others down the centuries have thought and said exactly the same. It's nothing new. So many a despot, politician, general, government have attempted to manage the historical record for their own ends or its own ends. But it's not just about history either. The urge to secrecy right across the political spectrum and in government, as Carl pointed out, is endemic. The formula runs like this: the more you've got to hide, the more likely you are to try and hide it. In other words, the more contempt you have for the people, the more you pander to vested interests, to the big end of town, the more personal and systemic corruption there is, the more deals that are done behind closed doors, very Tasmanian, the more incompetent and wasteful government and the public services are, very Tasmanian and very Australian, then the greater the urge to secrecy, lies, spin, and to the restriction of access to internet and social networks and access to information in general. Just take a look at all the exemptions the Freedom of Information Act has in Tasmania. You cannot access information of anything to do with cabinet documents, commercial in confidence, anything to do with forestry, or if you do get something from forestry, it's all black except for 2 or 3 little words at the top of the page. So that when information leaks out by whatever means, whether it's the Steve Cons shredded letter that Kim Booth brandished to such devastating effect in Tasmanian Parliament, whether it's the Palestine papers currently being released by Al Jazeera networks detailing the collusion between the Palestinian Authority and Shin Bet, the Israeli Secret Service, or whether it's Julian Assange and Wikileaks and a host of other information networks being established around the world, we must give our full support. Why? Because we're in the midst of a war, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now that war is perpetual. It's ongoing. It is a war against government lies, spin, corruption, secrecy, obfuscation and bullshit. That war, ladies and gentlemen, goes by the name of democracy. And that's the thing about democracy. It's not some grace one obtains through divine dispensation. It's not the faith one puts in some saintly leader. It's not something that we gain through philosophical purity. No, democracy is a process. It's the endless struggle towards an open society against those who would close it. It's a messy, bloody business. We're in it up to our necks here in Tasmania, and that's a good thing. It's the same business Julian Assange is in, of course, but for him it comes at much greater personal cost and much greater personal danger. Time will tell how far that danger will extend. Now, Julian Assange is an Australian citizen. He's also a citizen of the world. To the American government and its toadies like Sweden and Australia, let it be understood that support for Assange and Wikileaks is Australia-wide and it's also worldwide. So hands off, you bastards. Rather than shooting the messenger, get your own houses in order. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.